7, 8, 9, 10, ready, set, let's go. Turn it on, turn it up. Are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day. And everything's going your way. And you wanna make it last forever. Keep it together, 'cause it keeps getting better.
To go live. So let's see if it works.
Did you figure out
because-
if you're live on
No,
Facebook?
no.
Fucking Facebook's not letting me log in. It's being like extremely stupid. It's just constantly giving me captchas.
Oh, we might be in
and then
trouble anyway.
erasing my
We might be
info.
in trouble anyway. Hold on, let me check Facebook, I guess.
Well, you're live on Kick.
Yeah, but look at our setup right now. I don't know how to fix that. It's not. It's like I think not being in Discord before connecting really screwed things up.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm hearing you like 3 times.
And wait, I have to go. Let me see. Trying to check to see if I'm even live on Facebook. Checking.
Okay, finally got into Facebook.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
It doesn't look like I'm live on Facebook.
No, it doesn't. Facebook might need you to start a live before it can connect to the encoder.
Oh,
It
well,
might-
we're
it might
fixed
be
here.
something-
We're fixed here. I guess we could just.
Yeah, you're live
okay.
on Kick.
All
You're
right, we're
live
live
on YouTube.
Okay, well, guess what? We could just upload the fucking video full form over to Facebook because I'm not dicking with this morning. Type shit. And I just realized that my finger is going behind the screen. That's hilarious.
There we go.
Okay, let's see if we got this because we had to do some changing. What the hell? Is this supposed to be here? I don't know where this is supposed to go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now. Is that my finger? Okay, there. My finger's not going inside the screen anymore. What's up, Siren Squad? All right, it's our first actual podcast, which would mean that we, need it to go horribly wrong in some way or another. But this is supposed to be our first week of actually following some sort of structure in it. And the purpose of the podcast is to let you know what happened last week throughout everything. So it was a rough first week of actually posting our new campaigns and whatnot. But if I just now do this, bing, we can follow along and find out. So here's the coolest thing that happened last Sunday, because we're going to have to run this from Sunday. It'll go Sunday, basically to Friday. I get to have Saturday doing this. And then tomorrow, a new Survivor Sunday will post. Right now, Sunday, with Survivor Sunday, the one we posted last week was Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome. And this is a blog. All right. So it is a blog that is full of tips, tricks, different things that, like how you would, what is this phenomenon? Because this is an unofficial, term that some mental health providers may use to describe the behaviors and the reactions to somebody who has experienced or prolonged narcissistic behaviors. And as we've talked about before in some of the streams, is that, you can have a lot of it. There can be narcissistic behaviors without dealing with a full-on narcissist. Okay. But basically what Survivor Sunday is made up of is things that will help give survivors information that will directly help them heal and drive. So far it is our best performing blog year to date. And when I say best performing blog, let me tell you something. In all my years of blogging, okay, the time frame in which this actually took off, and it was posted last week on Facebook at 7 p.m., okay? But the amount of the way that it took off and the amount of time that it took off, It's my best performing content possibly ever, if you look at it in that regard. The first 72 hours that this blog was up, it got hit harder than I have ever seen any of my content ever get hit for initial, like, without any marinating, without any of the marketing, just straight up to the blog on the website, and then in turn goes up onto Facebook with the Survivor Sunday post. So that was interesting. It is full of informational stuff. This blog is going to be focused on things that survivors may need in order that they can benefit from, that can help them, from, self-help techniques to, seeking other, avenues to get help. Whatever tools out there may help healing. That is what Siren's Survivor Sunday is all about. So there's a chock full of information and resources, and eventually there will be downloads. I have actually spent a whole lot of time organizing all of my psych paper downloads, the things like assessments and little tests that I have gotten over time, so that you are able to access it. All right. It's going to have your tips for recovery, things that you can use to help you. Now, I'm going to tell you all something real quick. Do not underestimate the breathing techniques, okay? Because breathing are like the meditation, blah, blah, blah. You put these things into terms that people kind of are like, oh, that's not, what is that going to do for me? Like meditation or yoga. But really what it is getting your body moving and practicing breathing techniques. Breathing helps regulate your central nervous system, which is what, if you're dealing with trauma or anything else, this is what is actually feeling attacked. Okay. Now, I should let you guys know that throughout all of this last week, while I was building all of these cool things and these things were going up, the other flip side of it is I got myself certified in 3 new areas. I took 3 different classes. One of them was on basically psychology, just why people behave the way they do. And then the other 2 were centered on I am now technically considered a narcissistic life coach. So as I've described in many of my other things before, I have a narcissistic father, officially diagnosed NPD dad, okay, who I have now gone almost 20 years without seeing, which is ironic, isn't it? Isn't that ironic? I made friends and isn't it funny that I filled the next 20 years that I took my dad out of my equation? I put people in that would basically fill that gap.
Roll.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So, but in my experience, everybody's heard me talk a lot about things like X, the stuff that will be locked behind the dark triad of the website, the things that come in book 5 that require all kinds of content warnings. Okay. These things, I want to be very clear as I'm going forward. I will do a lot of focusing on narcissism, but my experience has definitely been that of with a dismissive avoidant. It is hands down. I absolutely believe it. It is, which is not the same on the simple. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because you are going to experience behaviors. I'm going to understand those behaviors because dismissive avoidance and narcissists both exhibit the same kind of behaviors, but they're for different purposes, different reasons. And I'm not going to get into a lot of that today because we're just supposed to be doing a recap. But I'm just letting you know, that's why my focus going forward is going to be so heavily charged with recovering from the behaviors of a narcissist, because they really truly are one and the same in this regard. As far as how it affects the people interacting with them, there is no difference. So, and that's where you get one of the things that is in this. So, for example, I talk about my relationship with X in this particular blog that came out, okay, talking about narcissistic abuse syndrome. And I explain my personal experiences with how I have what I've experienced, how I've gotten over it, how I came to learn to understand it. Everything that we produce over here on Siren Stories is supposed to be something that goes almost full circle. There will be no just simply pointing fingers and bad narcissist, bad person, bad behavior. It is going to be more along the lines of, I want to give you and shine some light on what causes people to behave in that manner that is so hurtful to others. Do they even know that they are doing it? And where do you start in the odd event that they don't? Okay, because there are methods of communication. There are things that can be said. Now, trust me when I tell you, you have to be very careful with these. I shrunk myself so fucking small. I thought there was a communication problem. Okay, let me just tell you how out there I got clinging to this kind of shit. Okay, I turned around and believed so much that we were miscommunicating via text message, and that the tone and the intent behind my messages was not being received, that I took it to a level where I used my my content creation skills to create videos, to send this man a message, to try to open the door of communication when there was never going to be communication in the first place. So, like, I've gone to the nth degree where I've now rolled back and realized that I just literally put myself out there in such a fucking extreme that, like, it depleted every ounce of who I was, trying so badly to reach a point of understanding, to just, and you cannot shrink yourself down this far. If somebody is not willing to hear you or listen to you or understand you for who you are, you really need to not waste your time on that. Okay. And the one thing here is that when you get into this, the side, these are damaging behaviors. Narcissistic abuse syndrome has been born, and something that mental health professionals are using as an unofficial term, because everybody reacts to the behavior basically along in a line somewhat. It comes from what your actual behavior exhibited is, maybe different, but where it comes from and why you're acting the way you are is the same. And so it's really important to understand. And especially when you're looking at this from this kind of perspective where, you're trying to survive, and I am very, very adamant about telling you right now. First of all, 2% of the population qualifies for an official narcissistic personality disorder diagnosis. Okay. Many people qualify for what is known as being high on narcissistic traits. Okay. Dismissive avoidance, those, again, small numbers. But what I want to reiterate here is that I am not a professional. I'm not a licensed medical professional, and neither are most of you that are going to be watching this. Trying to deduce this on your own can make you absolutely go mad. I'm telling you right now. And most importantly, the only difference between a dismissive avoidant and a narcissist is their intent. A dismissive avoidant is coming from a place where they are trying to protect themselves, where getting close to people is scary, where they don't want to get hurt. And so it is a self-preservation. Narcissistic behavior comes from a place of entitlement, power, and control. They are literally wanting you to be a minion in their life, and they want to control your every move. And so, but both behaviors look the same. And when you are in love, let's say with a narcissist or somebody high on narcissistic traits, which is high on narcissistic traits is going to be way more prevalent. Okay. And you want to look for a reason to excuse their behavior. I don't want to see people over here leaning on dismissive avoidant. I highly, highly suggest, no matter what you're dealing with, that you get yourself involved in some sort of support. I personally feel that knowledge is power. There are all kinds of, oh God, okay. I was like, oh gosh, what just happened? I got a notice from the computer, but it wasn't anything related. Anyways, It was crazy though. It was like,
thanks computer for bothering us.
Yeah, no, it was like, hey, Instagram 57 something, whatever. And I'm like, I can't deal with that right now. It was Google, and it just that sound I really fucking hate that the computer makes that we can't quite put a finger on for why things trigger me. There's computer sounds that make me go, God, I hate that sound. What is that? And Logan's phone did one, and he came up with why he thought it was. But then there's one, it's the one that lets maybe it's the same sound that something's disconnected or connected to your computer. It's the same sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it just went, and I was like, oh God, what has gone over, are we, anyways?
Yeah.
Okay.
What broke this time?
Yeah, I mean, we already know Facebook's broken this morning, guys. I didn't even try. I'll just go over there and post this video afterwards. It'll just be the way it goes. I'm assuming I could just download it from YouTube and whatever, like anything else, right?
I mean, yeah.
We'll see how it goes. All right. But anyways,
just the same.
anyways, what you can expect in the blogs that will roll out, and there'll be another one coming out tomorrow at 7:00. I don't actually have it lined up right now to know what that one is. I just know that it's already written, it's already ready to go, and it's already ready to drop because we're doing things over here on Siren Stories. So, but I do think that the blend of personal experiences in the midst of the professional information being provided is just it's just I think that this recipe is, I'm not surprised it performed so well, because this recipe is right. And it's crazy because here we are full circle. I get to write blogs again. That's what I do best. So that's cool. Everything will probably end up being a blog on the rail. All right, so on Monday, we released our first Siren Stories Times newsletter. All right, and it was a little rough because here's what happened. I was in the midst of creating it and putting in the outline, and I was doing everything, and I had spent about 2.5 hours just getting things all perfectly lined up, planning them out exactly how it was going to be. When it realized it was in the wee hours of the morning, because I had started at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning putting it together. And so just as I was about to finish, and I was like, good, I went to reach for my phone in order to text my ex-husband and be like, good morning, I'm finally up and going. How are you today? Like we do every single morning. And I dropped the phone on the keyboard, which somehow, because the newsletter is built within the website, okay, somehow it was just gone. And I had to super uber rush the whole entire newsletter over again. So it rolled out a little bit. Yeah, it rolled out a little bit like, a little bit. I saw things. It could have been better. Could have been better. I mean, it could have been better if it had been the 4-hour highly curated fucking post that I had done. But it ended up being the 20-minute from memory, here's what we created type shit. So it happens. In the future, giveaways are going to be announced on there. Now, let me remind you guys, we did a spin wheel last week. Anybody that comments on the podcast will be entered to win the design. And if we get none, we get none. That's fine. It's kind of like an Easter egg. I'm not highly like advertising this. You stick around, you watch the giveaways, and you leave a comment on the podcast, no matter where. Well, no, it's got to be on Facebook. So we'll repost this video to Facebook, but you leave a comment on any of the Siren Stories news, like videos that are weekly recaps, over on Facebook, and you'll be included to win a design, which is, the wheel told us I have to design something that has to do with attitude, which after the month I'm having, let me tell you, I can't wait to see how that turns out. Like, I have some spicy attitude. My poor family. So anyways, the future, like, giveaways and contest announcements are going to have links directly in the newsletter, which is, it goes into a blog. It goes into an email, like, I don't know what the hell you call it, but there are digital formats, okay? So it's published in a blog format with a link, though, so that we're going to be able to share the link. And it basically creates the blog to look just like the newsletter that gets emailed out or that people can go and download, okay? So it's super easy to get your hands on, so you're going to want to watch for that. We will have a member newsletter as we grow. And as things change, member newsletters will be separate. They will have more in-depth, one-on-one messages from me in regards to how the week is gone, and just a more in-depth survivor experience, if you will. And then, of course, the email subscription is finally available. You can finally go to sirenstories.com and you can join our newsletter so that you get an email when it comes out. So you might want to be sure to do that. So, yeah, I think that the email subscription link should be set on the most recent Siren Stories post on Facebook. We'll have to double check that today, most likely. So this was really good. Moving along. Oh, it looks like I've missed some. So Toxic Tuesday was a piece of crap for me. So it has been completely overhauled. We have gone from my more cartoony Toxic. When I think Toxic, I was thinking of Viper from, Valorant. And I was really like going with that overall feeling. But then I realized that this is the stuff that we are talking about is so much darker. And I don't do dark art. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but these cute little puppets, I can make even the ugliest of life scenarios look like they are, just friendly, because that's me. However, Toxic Tuesday is not something I want to sit and attract that kind of audience to, is my first thought. My second thought is the depth of pain that Toxic Tuesday and the traits that are listed within this series have caused me is not cute in any way, shape, or form. It's absolutely like dark and decimating. So I developed my own, like what I wanted, a certain style of what I wanted. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is the only art on my site that will be AI generated, will have to do with Toxic Tuesday, because it seems to me that if you really want something to be fucked up and dark, that's where AI's really got your back, which scares the shit out of me. Okay. But basically what I did is I went into Gemini and I was like, I need something like this that is dark and has, and I found stock images to give like an idea about it. And then I said, create me something so that I can actively write about these topics. And here's what I'm looking for. And so it came out with the level that I'm looking for of exactly, for example, this particular one you can see down in the corner. I know they're really dark because they are, but this is manipulation. You'll notice that the puppet has become the puppeteer and is controlling the humans. And so I really specifically fallen angels. And I love this one because of this is by the way, this is the discard. This is what this is supposed to emulate when it comes out. This is being narcissism discard. Okay. And then overall, the one that we decided to main frame as the overall, series, it was so hard for me. I just could not get the artistic feeling down until I went this route, because it really comes down to just some of the ugliest traits and trying to fight through them and trying to keep yourself centered among all of it. It's such an incredibly hard feat. So it is by far my favorite campaign. It did not get released this week because of I had computer issues. The plan was all there, and I just decided, screw it, we'll do it for next week. It's a slideshow type explainer series that will depict and take apart why somebody behaves a certain way, possibilities why they're behaving that way, what your reaction is to them. It follows the same formula every time, giving you a full scope of not just, is this kind of behavior, but am I experiencing this? What can I do for it? And then, plausible other options, so that before you just jump on, oh, it's a toxic trait and this person's toxic and I'm going to hate them, you can turn around and you can understand why did they possibly develop this behavior that's affecting you in the way that it is. But this, you'll notice that it's basically the flip of Siren's Survivors. Siren Survivors is giving you tips on how to heal and keep yourself grounded and stay healthy. This is going to give you what to look out for, what you're experiencing in the darker side of it. One is the experience of what it can include emotionally abusive behaviors. Okay. And the other one is what you are doing for yourself to recover from those. So they basically are supposed to offset each other. Think of Siren Survivors as your positive healing tool to tell you, how you might be able to, just promote your own self-healing. All right. And Tuesday is meant to give you a definition and an explanation and a understanding from a knowledge perspective. Okay. Knowledge base. Where, why, like, because that's a big question I think that a lot of people have when you're dealing with some of these behaviors. Why would they treat me this way? Why would they do this to me? How could somebody treat another person like that? And most of the time, what you're going to end up finding is they don't even realize they are. And when that's the case, there are opportunities for people to grow together. There are opportunities where it doesn't have to be, just not everybody's absolutely evil. You teach people how to treat you. And so, if they can't hack simple, healthy communication tactics and are freaking out over the slightest fucking, like emotional upheaval and whatever, well, then they're not meant to be in your space anyway. If you're in this place of healing and whatever, there needs to be a certain level of transparency, honesty, and whatever when you're working through any of the relationships that you have. And so often we end up in toxic situations that we don't even, and we're toxic too, by the way, and we don't realize how we're being toxic. We end up the toxic relationships that, are born. It very often is two people. And here's the deal. At the end of the day, somebody can learn or both can learn. Who's willing to learn? And then I'm going to tell you the really cold, hard truth about this is that for those of you that are looking at this and think you want to fix relationships and you want to get better, you're going to turn around and you're going to think that you could learn about things and whatever. And most of the time, I'd say 8 out of 10 times, what's going to happen from that is you're simply going to outgrow the person you are trying to improve for. Dead ass. Truth. You are just going to outgrow them because you cannot drag people with you on your healing journey. Okay? But recognizing it and at least giving it a try so that you can walk away with it, it's still going to fucking feel like hell. And most likely, if you're dealing with some of the worst traits and some of the most dark triad traits, as you implement healthiness, you will notice a huge shift in the other person. They will pull away. They will start acting in a way that you didn't understand. It will be very confusing, and it's still just as hurtful. And accepting that in the end of the day, most of them do not, they care. It's not that they don't care. Is that they don't care enough to do the work to preserve, maintain. You don't matter enough for them. I hate to put it point blank. That's what it is. Whatever their demons are louder, stronger in their own head than what you mean to them, and they will discard you. And it'll be the end of it. And so, that's just literally the truth when you're dealing with these kind of behaviors. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that proper communication, that there's not a warranted attempt. That everybody should just give up right now if you're dealing with somebody that is plagued by toxic behaviors. Do you just give up and walk away? Well, that's what this series is supposed to help you make the choice to do. Because to know when to walk away, that's on you. There's only so much people can take. We let ourselves get consumed so often. Okay? And I spent my whole life being unhealthy. This is a 40-year journey of me learning how to understand my behavioral effects on others, how people affect me, and where to find a balance and how to live my life so that it can't touch me in the ways that it used to. All right? Because that is where my mind would get all sorts of fucked up. And the biggest thing that comes with that is knowledge and acceptance. The more you know and the more you accept what you know, the more solid you will be. And the more solid you are, that's the biggest thing, because it shakes the ground of who we are, and we don't know how to react. We don't understand why. It is really hard to have experienced some of these behaviors and have the damage done to you that some of these behaviors can produce, and be met with somebody on the other side who doesn't even want to acknowledge it, doesn't want to talk about it, has such a fragile ego that they're not willing to even see it, and all they take it as is an attack. So when you even try to use the right I statements and you even try to speak in the healthy terms and you try that, it is still received in some sort of attacking fashion that goes nowhere. And recognizing that those cycles and the damage that they do to you is so important, but it allows you to make an educated choice. Everybody wants to be like, well, just leave them, just leave them, just leave them. It's so easy to say to people, just get over it, just leave them. But in the end of the day, there is so much more going on behind the scenes that anybody can understand, because it's all personal. And so the only thing that I figure is worth anything is by setting up this particular series on my channel, because it will give you here's what to expect. If you're going to make that choice to fucking punish yourself, you better be able to set up a wall. There was one point in my life where I really thought, okay, I can do this. I can set up the wall. I can keep this in frame of mind, and I can do this. And this will be something that gets locked behind the paywall right now. But where that ended up going took on a new cycle that I wasn't willing. And it was like, okay, well, here's my sign. Then at that point, being strong enough to turn around and be like, okay, because I wasn't strong enough to think like I thought I was, to be able to take everything exactly as it was. Things can get very emotional very quickly. And when behavior recycled itself and it felt like I had just been once again just, used to get whatever the person wanted from me, it can be really hard to just, you're putting yourself in a position to have to get through it again. That's what I'm saying. And so highly educating yourself is great. I caution anyone that thinks that they can get enough information that they could, sidestep any of these toxic traits that we talk about in Toxic Tuesday, because in the end of the day, these are habitual behaviors ingrained into somebody for some sort of reason that you could probably find out by watching the series. There are many possibilities in some of these cases, but in the end of the day, they are habitual. Okay. They will be in the moment when somebody feels the least safe or feels the most attacked, this will be something they fall back on. They are not likely to change, is where I'm getting at. Now you can try to, I don't want to put everybody in that. I don't want to put everybody in that category. That's the whole point of Toxic Tuesday. Affording people the information, knowing how to approach your situation and the behaviors that are, because you know what? A lot of times you get into the cycle and they're mildly toxic. Not everything has to be all down doomsday abuse level of stuff. Let's say it's just little toxic traits and behaviors that come out over time. I found out some that shocked me. I can't wait until we get to the point where we're talking about people pleasing and how toxic of a trait that can be. Toxic to ourselves and toxic to those around us. Because that was one of my problems. But little teeny tiny toxic things, those littler things, those have a chance at you can make a choice to change your behavior. You can't change anybody else, but you can have healthy communication so that if you're in one of these relationships, you can learn together how to better communicate, and you will notice that it will, if it can be healed, it will get better and things will improve. And if it can't be healed, you'll notice because it will get worse by implementing any of this. So anyways, this is my favorite campaign because it really takes a look at everything. It is a strong self-help resource. If you are trying to understand what has happened to you, why people do, why these behaviors exist, what are these, do they have a name? Do they have, is it under narcissism? Is it considered across anything else? What are good reactions? What is a healthy reaction when you experience this kind of behavior? If somebody behaves this manner to you, what is a formula that you can use to respond to it? Things of this nature are all going to be included. It helps you. If you're not ready to just bail and be like, this shit is bullshit, then this is going to help you keep your power, keep hold of yourself to a certain degree. I really believe in this whole, and I think I have up to 100, but we've selected 41 toxic traits. So this bad boy could be going for a while, and it comes out on Tuesdays. So, again,
Dang.
it is all about why people do the things they do. That is what it focuses around. And I took a class that was literally this over this last week. I took why people do the things they do. And I got to tell you, it made me cynical, and it made me a little bit like, holy shit. Because it literally took all of this stuff that I'm making right here and it summed it up into one very simple thing. Ask yourself what the person gets out of it, no matter what. Don't assume that they're trying to do something to get something out of it. I'm just saying, ask yourself, because we are animals by nature. And no matter what, nobody does anything selflessly. This is what I learned this week. I used to think that me helping people the way that I help people, I was like, I don't ask for anything in return because I didn't expect them to financially pay me back. I didn't expect them to do things for me. I didn't expect any of that, but I always said, just don't lie to me and don't make me feel unappreciated. Well, that tells you right there. What was I looking for and what I was doing? I was looking for appreciation, which was feeding something inside of me because I never felt appreciated enough. So basically, if you really want to be completely real on this, I was turning around and helping other people with the expectation that I would at least be appreciated, and when they didn't, raising fucking hell over it. All will do behaving in manners where people seemed, where I felt very selfless, like I wasn't asking for anything in return, but I was. I was doing it to feed a certain need inside myself. And that is a hard thing to take a look in the mirror and really truly accept. This is just the science of our brain. If you look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I doing this? And give yourself a real answer, there will be one. And if you look at the people around you and you ask, why are they doing this? What does this get them? How does this benefit them? Because everybody has a self-driven goal. In the end of the day, nobody is doing anything just because they are nice people. They are doing things because it makes them feel good to do things. And that's great. That's great. If it makes you feel good to go out and donate your time to a certain specific community, or, do something that makes it better in the world, that is amazing and great. Good on you. But you're still doing it because it makes you feel good. You feel like a better person by acting that way, which when you balance this out and you put it exactly as it is across the board, it is no different than perhaps why a criminal does what a criminal does. Okay? They go out and they do things because especially certain kinds of criminals go out and do what makes them feel good. Okay? And predators go and do what makes them feel good. And in the end of the day, the psychology is no different from the person who is going to go and choose to say save Haiti, and the person that is going to, be compelled to be a criminal. Okay. But in the end of the day, there is one fucking thing that will answer everything for you. What is the motive? What do they get out of it? What are they going to achieve from this? Because nobody is doing anything. And so maybe it's better to surround yourself with people that are being the kind of people because it makes them feel good. So they are spreading a certain positivity and a goodness in the world. Why am I doing this? I'm going to tell you right now why I'm doing this. This shit helps me. This is how I get more. The more I do siren stories, the more I produce this kind of stuff, no matter if it goes anywhere or it doesn't, it is absolutely what did I call it the other day? It's defragmenting my hard drive. I am able to think with a certain level of clarity. Okay. It makes me feel good that I am smart enough to understand this stuff, and that I can then make a choice to help explain it to people who may feel as lost as I was because I couldn't help myself 6 months ago for shit. Okay. But now that I'm here, I can help people, and that will make me feel good because I don't like the idea of anybody sitting in the kind of misery that I sat in, feeling as lonely as I did, feeling as out of control as I did, recovering from the shit that I've gone through. That was the worst time in my life. And it makes me feel good to use what I have learned and share it with other people. It's also a lot of work. So I'm going to have to balance all of it. But the things that I'm doing, absolutely. This isn't just like, this is my purpose. Although Chakra Lady she really nailed that into me. She was like, you are going to change the world. But I'm not going to change the world from a perspective of trying to do so. This shit here is for me. This is the shit that I'm doing in order to get myself. Every single one of these articles that I do, doing them, that research, the classes I'm taking, what do you think they're doing for me psychologically speaking? I have just poured myself into a self-help campaign that is so fucking strong that there is no way I'm going to come out on the other side without being bigger, better, and stronger than I was when I went in. Okay, this is 100%. The thing is that I'm just I'm doubling it. If I'm going to go and put all that time in order to do all of that, I'm choosing to share it with people. What is my ultimate outcome? What would be perfect? What would be the best? Well, I would love it if this would become a self-sustainable way of life for me so that I could continue to do this because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy understanding this, and I do enjoy believing in people to a certain extent, even though the last few years has made me question that in so many regards. Okay. But I do enjoy that. So if I can do that and it helps me, and then create content where it might help others because of the way that my unique perspective of being able to interpret and re-explain what we're talking about. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be very blunt. One of the things that this whole journey has already done for me is made me realize that I'm too fucking nice. And that would have, I think I've dropped my, I don't care. Like I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So I'm going to try to be super, super nice. I'm more going to be a realist. I am more going to be like right in your face. I'm going to own my own shit, but I'm also going to fucking be really, really upfront. There is not going to be some, this is not an area of life where anybody needs a level of understanding or excuse for how it goes, because it takes so long to get through. Trauma is no joke. It is the hardest fucking thing that people can recover from, especially if we are dealing with complex trauma. And it can feel like it takes forever no matter what. There are people that go after experiencing, for example, some of these toxic effects, that end up living their whole entire life just not being able to let go of it. Because our mind is a crazy thing. And I am doing everything I can to learn every aspect of how we operate psychologically and figure out how it really ties to complex trauma, and put the two together and give that information, to the public, because that's all it is. It's all out there. How many hours you're going to have to read and how many classes you're going to have to take in order to be able to draw exactly how these things go together, I can't even tell you. I've been doing this now for almost 3 years, trying to figure out what the fuck happened to me, how the fuck I reacted the way I did, being angry at the person who had that behavior when really it has nothing to do with him. Okay. It has everything to do with me internally, what I was willing to accept, what I was putting up with, where I was, how I was reacting to people's behaviors. I was hung up on the why did he act that way? I was hung up on the why did I thought he cared about me. I was hung up on the emotions. I was hung up on the behaviors and the actions from the quote unquote, love bombing phase to the point where, just literal discard. I questioned myself over and over and over and over and over in a ruminating fashion, where I was stuck like a broken track, just going over the same thing over and over and over again. And you, to get out of that and to be free from that, okay, you don't need anybody to be like, oh yeah, I understand that. No, just fucking stop. Just stop. It comes down to here's the point though. Here's the point. All of that, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Okay? Not truly. But because I know that it does though to our brains. Okay? In the end, the irony is that's not how you're not going to heal by getting those answers. You're never going to have the answers you want. It's never going to change. That behavior is going to be that behavior, because when you are dealing with people like this, they are not going to change. They do not want to hear how they are acting. They take it, their little fragile egos are, I don't even know if I could say that where I go with this, but let me tell you, their egos are the most fragile part of their whole entire existence. Just think about that. Okay. And so when they feel like it's attacked, they're going to fucking spiral out and they're going to fucking act the way that they do. And it is not your job to figure out why. It's just because they're who they are. Your job is to figure out why the hell are you putting up with it? And what can you do? And why is this even acceptable behavior in your home? Why are you even entertaining watching these little meltdowns and these excuses without actual proper communication, without actual respect, without any vulnerability? Why are you even entertaining that and accepting that and setting your bar that low in life? Move the fuck on. These people are not going to change, get better. They don't want to hear it. Okay, you can only try. Trust me, I tried to bring things in every way, shape, and form to the table and be like, here is, I just wish you'd kind of educate yourself on this. That's all you could do. And most times they're going to freak out because now all they hear you doing is saying something's wrong with them. Oh yeah, there is. There's something wrong with all of us. We all have fucking issues. Find yourself people that are willing to work on theirs. This is dead ass. You want to be happy in life? You think that you're going to find somebody? You need to find somebody that's willing to work on issues and be willing to work on your own, because we all have them. And learning to live with another person and have any type of relationship at all or anything in that regard, that requires work. That is not going to be magic. It might feel great. Oh God, you're so in love. It is always going to require work. Don't let yourself end up in a situation where you are dealing with somebody along the lines of ignorance, where they are not willing to look at how their behaviors may affect other people. They are not willing to take any of it into account. Do not let yourself end up in that, and don't you be that person either. That is the point of the whole Toxic Tuesday. And it is really important, because in the end of the day, it's crazy, because my ex-husband and I right now, like just the level of our relationship is just great. I just like our interactions. I mean, even when he like, I called him the other day and I was like, I just thought I'd call you and see how you were doing. And he was really in a sour mood. And I wasn't in the best mood either. But I was like, I was like, so here's the deal. I called you to see how you're doing. I think I've gathered exactly how that is. I'm not sure that it meshes real well with my current, state of mind. So how about we just, give this another try later and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. I mean, it's like, how many times in the past I could have just enveloped into some sort of stupid spiral cycle of why he's being an ass, why I'm being an ass, and nobody cared. Who cares? If you're going to be an ass, put yourself in timeout. Okay? Go put yourself in timeout. Take a deep breath. You don't need to be that way to people. Okay? There's nothing that's in your control but you. And just focus on that shit. And that is the hardest thing, because when we end up in a toxic relationship, and if we're coming out on the other side of it and we have ended up being hurt in whatever manner, why? The biggest question is why and how? How could somebody treat us that way? And why would they do that? And it makes everything before that feel like it was like, was any of it real? That's hence, now you guys get it. That's where the book title comes from. That and the music he sent me.
She said it.
Was any of it real? Because you don't really know. Coming out of a relationship like that, you just don't know. But what I will tell you is that I have never in my life taken so damn much time to have to recover as I have from that relationship. That has been, and now I get it. And I am not angry actually at him. And I have given up my hate towards him. Okay. But I am so damn angry at myself for allowing somebody to treat me in that manner and acting as though it was ever acceptable, because that is not who I am. Little shit should have fucking backed the fuck off long before, because no, if you're not going to talk to me about real things, don't talk to me at all. But I accepted all the little fucking breadcrumbs laid out. And I did all of that. And I put myself on that level. And then I kept myself there. And because whatever I could to preserve a fucking communication and relationship with somebody who ultimately is going to give up on himself anyway. Okay. Because he's not doing anything to make himself better. So all that time of twisting my shit up. Why? Nobody listened to me, chat. You deserve the best out of you every day that you can give yourself. And if you find yourself locking your thoughts, feelings, words, whatever, behind a wall and training yourself to behave in a different manner so that you can better assuage the person you are interacting with, fuck that person. Fuck that person. Get them out of your life. They are not worth the time or energy. You need to stop. You need to stop right now, because you will ultimately sacrifice yourself to the point where you don't know who the hell you are. Trust me, it has been a thing that I have done and capable of doing throughout my life. And usually I finally fucking get my grounds back and I realize who the hell I am. And once I do that, well then, guess what happens? Is life exactly as I pictured it? And can I paint my white picket fence? Maybe not, but at least I know I'm fucking solid. And at least I know that I can take care of myself. And that is what, in the end of the day, that is the number one thing that we all need to know, is that the only person you are guaranteed to have by your side until the day you die is yourself. Nobody else in your life should ever be viewed as some sort of permanence. We take this time and we turn around and we think that, we could probably go on because it's probably going to come up again, but we think that people are just going to be there. We take them for granted. We think they're going to be there tomorrow, and then they're not. And it decimates us when somebody we think we're building a relationship out of the blue ghosts you and discards you. Yeah, that wrecks you. But why? Why does it truly wreck you? Because that's not where you thought it was going. And in your mind, in that moment, it is not even a fucking option. It is not even a thing that could happen. Same, all being said, maybe they don't ghost you and they don't do that, but they turn around, they go out and they get killed in a car accident. They're gone now. Okay. And you're still left to have to heal and grow. And so you should always maintain yourself with recognizing that there is not a sense of permanence in our world. Anybody can come and go, because in the end of the day, the only person that's going to be there for sure until the day we die is ourselves. And so be somebody that you can live with and make damn sure that you are proud of that person, and don't sacrifice yourself for anybody. I am loud. I am outspoken. I can be considered pushy, rude, and all kinds of things. I don't give a fuck. That's who I am. And that's who I'll continue to be. And so I'm just telling you but this whole series, that's what this is about. It is about shining a light, because there is a time. You know what? I was there. Sometimes people really don't understand that they're behaving in a manner. And what ends up happening is we build resentment. We end up expressing it in a way that's, not going to be received as well. And it is all psychological based, where if you can learn how to say the things and you try your best to keep that line of communication open. And I do not fucking condone anybody that thinks they need to make a video for their fucking counterpart in order to be able to understand them, because you're either dating a monkey or there's a different problem. Okay. So I mean, the emotional IQ on that one, for real though. Am I right? But you can try certain things, and so I think that's what Toxic Tuesday really brings up. And in essence, this is why it's my favorite campaign. All right. So moving along, Wigs and Wheels Wednesday, Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook went down on Wednesday for what was it? 2.5 hours or something like that. We couldn't get in.
Yeah.
I think it was 2.5 hours. And I was like, what is going on? Why is this so hard? What is happening? And IG turns around and I was already frustrated because I had literally passed out from working so hard. And I was like, what is going on? And I went to go post it, and it was going to be a little late, but it was still on Wednesday. I was going to make the cutoff, and I was going to get Wigs and Wheels posted, and I had the thing. And we have a new way of creating this particular series, which is going to be really fun. I think if you think Blind Date, if anybody is in my era, except for Gunner's going to be the one down in the corner, giving his speech rendition of commentary sometimes of, just what we're watching. But anyways, he was supposed to be at the beach, and I tried to post it. And finally, when it was like, because IG was like, there's no way that Facebook is down. And he goes and he pulls it up and he's like, Facebook is down. And I was like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm not even trying. What I did decide though is over on the website, you're going to see this week. Yeah. This week, you're going to see that we're going to end up posting the story of Gunner. The problem with me is I start posting the story of Gunner. I started to do this, and then I end up halfway written through book 4. I ended up halfway writing the end of book 4. It was crazy. So I had to roll it back and be like, okay, we're going to have to turn this down a little bit, and see what we can do. Daisy Life is included. If we have done anything, we like to call ourselves mechanics, even though we absolutely are not. You'll get the shorts. These are all shorts, by the way, guys. This form of content all comes in the forms of shorts, reels, and TikToks, I suppose. All right. So, I talked about Facebook being down already. All right. So you can expect 2 of these posts on Wednesdays. We're going to go ahead and do 2 Wigs and Wheels posts Wednesday. They won't be as advertised as this week on the beach. By the way, that's a picture behind him of on the beach. That is a real photograph I took at the beach, chat, just so you can understand that. That is our real beach behind the little Gunner. So today, though, this is what I love about this. We have been live right now for only 54 minutes, and we're almost to the end of this. And I got to tell you, that is great for me because it is Saturday and it is sunshine, and I just love driving Daisy along the bay in the sunshine. It's great. So expect 2 of these posts. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to even get more. I have a new phone. My ex-husband for my birthday bought me a Motorola Razr that has some really high def, great video capabilities. So hopefully, our videos will also increase as far as, quality, because damn, my phone is nice. I love my phone. All right. So where are we up to? We are up to Thursday. We're only doing Thursday, Friday, and then we're done and we're out of here, chat. Oh, Thursday was Throwback Thursday. This was our first Throwback Thursday. This is how it ended up working out. It looks like most of my Throwback Thursdays are actually going to come from the era of Broken Dreams. Most of the posts I have to use for throwback come from my first healing area. Well, let's just click through this. All right. It's going to look back at my time in Alabama, where we lived in Alabama from 2015 to 2020. So, and then we went back to Minnesota. So here's what happens. Our I thought we had healed so much in Married with Children is the book 3. Okay. So much healing had gone on and so many things had changed. And when my ex-husband was offered a higher paid position where he would be home more was the deal in Alabama, we just, there was no option. I really didn't give the kids a choice. There's a whole lot of stuff that comes out of this from a, like, just how it affected. I moved us away from the family that we didn't know. Okay. Like we didn't have, and they weren't real family, but I mean, the norms of life, the good things that we had built in Texas, it was like, okay, it's our time to go be a family. I got to Alabama and my mother-in-law went to come down and she wanted to come down and see her because it had become a regular thing since she came to visit us in, what would it have been? 2012 or so.
12.
Yeah. 2012 from after trying to harm herself. Her 3-month stay that she came in at that time ended up becoming a regular annual event. And so we had just gotten to Alabama. She had gotten a lot of things worked out for her. We thought she was doing much better, but what we hadn't known at the time is that she reconnected with my in-laws. And I did not know this. And I literally thought she was on drugs when she came back. So I had made her I was going to pay out of pocket for her to go see a psychiatrist because I really felt like she needed one. But by the time her appointment came around, I was like, screw you. I'm taking your appointment because you've caused me to need one. And well, just serious as a heart attack. And I went in and this is our first couple months that we've been in Alabama. And this new psychiatrist, I see him in one session. He called me out on everything that could piss me off and caused me to reflect. He did more good in my life. He was vulgar. He was swearing. He was not your typical doctor. He was like, what the fuck is your problem? Do you think you're fucking God? What is your deal? Like, he just knew how to talk to me and make me go, what? You know, and called me right out. And it ended up inspiring the greatest healing journey of my life. The one that I ended up taking too far before I ended up with trauma. So, but these posts are from that time. They're deep, real reflections. So first you get the post and this is what it looks like on Facebook. Okay. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get the original post and the reflection in blog format. But additionally, I put the original post in the comments on this one and did my reflection in the top as a caption. This is not how Mark Zuckerberg wants me to create content. Therefore, unfortunately, he's the biggest control freak of the world. My shit will go nowhere if I don't follow his fucking formula. Therefore, you can expect this to be in a blog format where the blog will be listed in the first comment, but you can really look at it. And I guess if we're going to do this, we can just give a little bit of an example with this one. How do I want to do that? Should be able to do this. Move this. And I should be able to go over to my posts. So let's see. I'll just read it out to you guys. This series is going to truly make me realize all the ways things have changed, how I've grown. I'm thankful for one thing. Despite everything I've gone through, I learned long ago, life is fragile and things happen. During the good moments and the good experiences, I often pause and really thought about how I was enjoying moments that really meant something to me. Focusing on the knowledge, there would be a moment in time where I would look back, and I always wanted to feel the best I could when those things in the past brought sorrow, disappointment, or smiles by grief. Callie passed away in April of, I put the wrong date in here. It's supposed to be 2022. In April of 2022, we lost her to cancer. We didn't think Sunny would be able to live without her sister, but we were wrong. There was no one more important to her than us. She died in the night with her boy, showing her all of the love that one would hope for at the end of her life. We lost her in 2024 while I was deep in the throes of my trauma. She was IG's dog, and I didn't think I'd be as heavily as affected. Within days of her passing, it became very clear. She had been keeping our dogs in line like a fierce mama. She never really gave me much attention unless there was thunder. That was the only thing she trusted me more than herself over. But She was clearly keeping Callie and Crypto in line, and then in turn, Gunner and Crypto. They got loud and slightly unruly following her passing, and I realized she had been signaling them to shut up when they annoyed me. She hated when I yelled or cleaned, and I think that's because cleaning made me often yell. Despite my efforts to make sure that I got the most of any moment I could, such as this one that you see here, you truly can't fathom what you've got until it's gone. She lived a long life. She was the happiest dog, and we did the best by her. Nothing to be sad about in the regards of life. But now that she's gone, I realize I could have possibly just appreciated her a little more. The quiet ways losing her were made apparent, and I hadn't realized how much she did for our family. She made it a point to teach Gunner to be a proper dog before her departure. Just such a good dog in general. We get so comfortable in our lives sometimes where we just can't imagine what life may be like on the other side of time. And we can't even if we wanted to. We still choose to love our pets, knowing that it will hurt when they leave this world, knowing that we will feel their absence. But we treat our human relationships as if there will always be a tomorrow. And so very often, there's just not. And so it's a deep reflection, and the actual post goes off, and you can read about it, on the website and everything. But the actual post is entailing just me being outside with the dog in the morning and looking around and being very thankful for where I'm at and being very thankful that I have this time with her, and watching her enjoy life is an enjoyment for me very clearly. And she's no longer with us. So the throwbacks come with very deep reflections of where I was at during this era, where I've come from now, and even building on the things that I used to think that I had, so I have lived for years where I will take a minute and I'll be very quiet, and I will really, really, if it's something that matters and means something to me, I will just make sure that I take it in. And wow, I just was hit with an understanding of something I'm going to have to tell you later. Holy crap. I did this, and it was the last time that I went to that restaurant with X. I sat, and he had said something. He was like, "You're really quiet." And I was like, "Sometimes you just have to take a minute." It's because you can sense the end. It's when you can sense it's apparently it's a trauma response. It's nothing special, chat. I thought that I, was a long line of gifted healers or something. No, I'm just kidding. But no, really, like I thought that, and it turns out, no, just generational trauma affords you this ability to be able to read people. You get a different sense of energy, and it's crazy. But anyways, so yeah, I really like the throwback, being able to be, doing deep reflection on the past, and a big focus on taking life one moment at a time. And being able to look back and realize, because at this point in my healing journey, that's what I was really focused on doing, taking life and making what it was in the moment and how it mattered, meaningful. You making it more meaningful to me. Don't let the moments just slide by. So, which brings us up to Friday, which is Fun Fact Friday, which is going to get a little bit of a tweak. This is definitely everything's going to be a blog, because Mark Zuckerberg wants me to write blogs, apparently. I think that is absolutely hilarious, given the fact that I literally learned how to do video crap because people quit reading blogs. But that's fine. If we need to go back to my roots, I am all for that, because that's where I'm at home. I didn't know I could do that. I could go backwards. That's cool. That's cool.
Shit.
I didn't know I could go backwards.
Backwards.
Whoa, that's awesome.
I mean, could you not go backwards with Google? I mean, like PowerPoint?
I didn't, not by the hit of the button that I just did. I'm on full screen right now. Like just click, click, click it's all set up freehand, and then I click to get through it. But I didn't know that without hitting like a little back button or something. No, it was a key on my mouse. I don't know which one.
I see.
Yeah. Anyways, so Fun Fact Friday. Okay, my fact this week was I never stay mad long. Never go to bed mad was a rule growing up. This whole thing, I think it is so important. One of the things that we can hang on to that is the worst is anger. And my mom had a rule: we don't go to bed mad, which literally meant let go of everything that has pissed you off in the day, take a deep breath, and don't go to bed mad, because it's just not healthy. And she was right. And in this particular post, I really focus on the importance of letting go of just what is holding you back as far as in terms of anger. Just like, people are going to make you angry. I'm not saying you're not going to get angry, okay, guys? But what I'm saying is you have a choice on whether or not you're going to stay there. And if somebody makes you too angry, then that person's not even worth the space you're giving them in your life. That's what it boils down to. I think it's going to actually pop up with that. So this particular thing, everything that I'm doing right now has been my new thing is content creation therapy. I'm a content creator. We are creating. I have to build an audience. I have to let people. The idea behind all of this is you get to know who I am. Nobody's going to want to buy my books if you don't get to know who I am. In the meantime, knowing that I know what I'm talking about, that's very helpful. So we're going to prove to you that I absolutely know what I'm talking about. We're going to showcase my personality, as abrasive as it may be, because that's who I am. And we're going to have to, which may take us a little while longer to find our community and our people, because I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and it seems like the world really fucking likes that. I'm not going to sit here and you're going to get what you get from me. At least you'll always know I'm being real. But for me, the creation of this content is therapy. It is rewiring my brain to understand, be healthier, happier, and more just psychologically grounded. And that's what I need in my life. That is what I have needed in my life. That's what I have been lacking in my life. There are just too many things that I have allowed into my life to throw this particular goal off. It's, like making me second guess or question myself. Okay. I want to blame people for that, but it only comes from one place. Wherever I'm allowing that to be the truth. It is a me thing. This whole entire thing, doesn't matter what people have done to me. It doesn't matter what their role in the experiences were. Okay. The anger doesn't matter towards them. The anger needs to be at why I am allowing people to take space in my life who are behaving in manners that cause me to question things or whatever. At that point, it comes down to my choice on whether or not I'm really going to let a person affect me. And you could say, well, there's a million different ways you could turn around and throw at me, but I'm in love with them. I've been married to them for 25 years. I've known them forever. I got them all, guys. I got them all.
They can do backflips.
Yeah, I got them all. I've got them all. They've never let me down. I've always been able to trust them. They've never done anything wrong, but they're just broken. You keep going. I've got them all. I have made every excuse ever imaginable known for the behaviors of others and excused it in order to accept it. And what I have learned in my recent time is why. Why was I doing that? Why did I have to come up with a reason to accept it? The much better option is to not allow people to maintain. Do not let them abuse your space. If somebody's going to come in and, I'm just so horrible and you should just, the self-loathing, I'm not going to be good enough or, whatever. And just bullshit, just all bullshit. There are whiny little bitches everywhere, guys. My goal in life personally is to not be one of them. Okay. All right, just point blank, right to the point. I can't sit and I think I've dealt with it enough. This most recent thing that I've been through, the amount of giving up. I can't just do this. I can't just do that. It just is what it is. Just accept it because something is hard. Just accept that it can't get any better or it can't be changed. Is such lazy motherfucking bullshit. And it pisses me off to a fucking end that I can't believe this. And it is bullshit. It is just bullshit because everybody can always improve. Things can always nothing is forever except for death. Okay. Like nothing is forever. All right. And so the idea that I see behind so many of these situations where like with what I've dealt with, where it's just like, oh, well, now I guarantee you, because I went through a series of feelings of, I really thought I fucking hated, X. Because I was feeling that level of just disgust, disdain, disappointment, and rage. That's what it boils down to. Well, I've let go of that because I get it now. Some people are just really fragile and just not cut out to do life in the manner, and they need to hide from it, and they need to stay behind. Like they have to do what they know, because stepping outside of that or growing and changing in any way, shape, or form is just too much for them to fathom. I get it. Not everybody's capable of it. It's just okay. Fine. People are people. That gets to be them. But those aren't people that I need to let. Those are not my people. My people are going to always be willing to try to grow, change, and reach to the best version of themselves because that's what I'm constantly doing. So surrounding myself around anybody that's not doing that is a recipe for disaster. And content creation therapy being that me creating all of this allows me to become more aware of exactly these kind of things, where I stand, what I think, and how things for me, like just how things will line up to promote the best version of myself, you know? Oh. So yeah, I just double click. Wait, can I wait? Oh no, that was wrong.
Go back.
Oh God, I really screwed up now. Hold on. Screwed up
She's
big now.
breaking it.
I did. Now I don't know. Okay, slideshow. Okay, now we're gonna have to go through them all, get it back up to the page because I don't know where it is. Although I gotta say, like overall, we hadn't had a real whoopsie yet. That was not the key to going backwards, by the way, that I hit, just so we're all clear. So don't let anger take up space. I guess it's actually a problem in the thing right now. But don't let anger take up space. That is the most important thing. As you're trying to heal, the being angry I know that you can't, if everybody wanted to choose how they could feel, they'd all feel happy, okay? But you've got to do what you've got to do in order to let that anger go. Because if you don't, you are allowing anger to take up and taint space where you can be becoming your best self, where you can be doing so much better. And it is so important for you to do that in order to be able to maintain and be able to survive all of the kinds of experience that we are talking about throughout Siren Stories and the Siren Story Times broadcasts. Okay, so future posts will also include blog links because I understand you now, Mark Zuckerberg. And I guess I got to say no to Twitch because they were trying to be so controlling. I don't get to say no to Mark Zuckerberg because that's where our main audience is. And if I don't follow his formula and posting, that's why you see people post the way that they do. And you wonder, why does everybody post in this way? Because you get penalized if you don't post according to Mark Zuckerberg's absolute fucking, proven formula. So yeah. So now, if I'm not mistaken, this goes check, and then I can just shut off the TV. That might be cool.
I'm a little delayed. I'm waiting.
I'm a little.
I'm still waiting.
Wow.
Did it pause or something?
The lag is real.
No, I'm still waiting.
Can you hear yourself?
No. Oh, and the TV went off. Oh my God.
Well, no stream sniping happening over here on this side of things. All right, chat. So we have a temporary stream ending screen put in right now. I have kept the stream starting to be Ride Through Life because that is what it is. All right. Oh, I just got chats. Wow. Okay, that's cool. We're gonna figure out how to get all of this. Also looks like we can sign up. It's trying to get us into TikTok. Did I may have. Oh, I'm starting to see the things that might be crazy. Did we check to see if I was live on TikTok?
You should. There's no way you can be live on TikTok. You didn't give it any of your information.
We don't know that.
Hey, what do you mean you don't know that? You literally unless you didn't log in on.
No, but we have three stream keyed sources that are we sure we clicked the right one? And that's maybe why we didn't go live on Facebook is because we clicked the wrong one.
No, you have 3 stream keys because it's not TikTok. Did you log?
I don't know.
TikTok?
They don't say default canvas.
Yeah, no, it's not TikTok.
Okay.
There's no. It can't just lock you. It can't just make you stream to TikTok just because it's there.
Okay, cool. Anyways, that'll be there. It'll come in the future. So, chat, be sure. So, coming up this week, you'll find out everything that's planned. If you catch up with the newsletter on Monday, Sunday is our next Survivor Sunday. So, that's currently our hottest commodity besides Gunner, which is crazy. So, with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend and take good care of yourselves.